Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about demons and why I think that they failed in basically updating them with some nice points decreases. How the army still does not function how it's supposed to. So I'm going to go over some points. We're going to talk about some things here. So basically, the big points here is that yes, everything went down for the most part. Obviously, Lord Change didn't go down, Be'lakor didn't go down, Shalaxi didn't go down, and I think on the Flaming Chariots didn't go down, and some other small pieces, right? The Renmaster, so Pink Horrors didn't go down. So just some points here, some points there. So everyone was super excited, myself including, when that came out. I mean, points decreases is what you want to see with a balance update, right? We didn't get any rules changes in the army itself, which was unfortunate. So yeah, I was very excited to try it, and I did a whole bunch of play testing. So let's go over what I found out. So first things first, you need Be'lakor, right? So that's a large part of your army just to begin with, right? So that's 325 points that you have to spend every time you start a list. So basically, start a list off with 1675, and you work from there. A couple of reasons because that is because the Shadow Aura is amazing. Him being untargetable and the units around him, within 6 inches, also being untargetable is super powerful. And then the ability to make use of his 6-inch deep strike aura, with him either deep striking in 3 inches away from someone and then everyone else deep striking around him, is super powerful. So he has a lot of opportunity, a lot of mobility with that aspect, and shielding your units from getting shot while you are basically staging for future turns is very important, right? So, and if you walk up to the table against like triple Night Spinner or guard, you're gonna have a tough time, right? You're gonna really feel like things are hopeless when you're getting shot by manticores, basilisks, triple Night Spinner, Yin-Carn teleports, kills another one of your big guys. Like, it's just not a good look. So, every army has to start Be'lakor, and Be'lakor didn't go down. So that's unfortunate. I don't think he needs to go down where his points cost are. Like, I think he's at a good spot. But it's still unfortunate that he didn't get a points decrease. Like, I think 325 is fine for him. I think some of these other units definitely need to go down. So the first big issue with the army is durability. So with the abundance of lethal that is in the game now, you get to a point where all of your big monsters do not survive past a phase. Like, I can't tell you how many times Be'lakor steps out, or he does his teleport trick where he teleports in 3, then units teleport 6 inches around him, then those units go out and charge, and my opponent just answers back with literally killing everything I brought with me on top of Be'lakor dying on the same turn. I'm not even talking about multiple turns or he gets maimed but he's still alive. He dies almost every time he shows his face after turn 1. Turn 2, turn 3, he's definitely dead. Either turn 1, I don't move him out, he does nothing. Then turn 2, you stage with him, he sits in the backfield, maybe teleports something onto him that maybe deals with the unit in front of him, but the bulk of the army is at a corner, like a corner deployment or a long ways deployment where they can still not be able to get up to him and shoot him, right? So he lives on turn 2, but then on turn 3, you have to full send, which we'll talk about in a second. And when you full send, he is now in the thick of it, and he dies immediately, So him, that's bad, and all of the greater demons are like that. He's -1 to hit and untargetable. When you look at some of these other units, they're even worse, right? Bloodthirster, nothing really crazy about the Bloodthirster. So he just dies immediately when you look at him the wrong way. And the Lords of Changes are really depressing in that aspect as well. So durability is just a problem. We look at, like I said, lethal and small arms fire from a lot of these units with sustained and, adding a whole bunch of hits and full rerolls to hits and full rerolls to wound. And then you look at a unit like Pink Horrors. They're toughness 3 with a 4-up save. with no durability strats or abilities. The best they can get themselves is -1 to hit. But like that's not going to survive. And the main reason is because we only have an invul. So I think Games Workshop made a big mistake with making all the greater demons not have an armor save. And I get it. Their thing is demonic instability and things like that. However, like if you're going to keep lethal in the game in this excess, then you're going to need to do something about these guys that make them live longer. Either you need to give us something built into it, like armor, or the detachments need to be very resilient, because like reroll ones on our save it's not enough. It's and it's only in the shooting phase. So so that's like problem number 2. Problem number 3, problem number 2 is that you just don't have shooting. So let's talk about that. So pink horrors, flamers, the chariots, and then like small arms fire from like, Be'lakor's got a gun attack, and Shalaxi's got a gun attack, and so does a keeper, and the bloodthirster, but like nothing substantial. Like we have access to the 3-inch deep strike, which should be amazing for our army, right? Like you can deep strike Be'lakor 3 inches away, and then deep strike units within 6 inches to wreak havoc on your opponent. Except there's no havoc to be wreaked, because there are no units that could wreak said havoc, because there is no shooting in the army. At best, you could teleport a bird, and a bird would, a Lord of Change would then do damage and kill, flip a rhino, or maybe kill a unit of infantry. But realistically, he's only firing 9 shots. So 9 shots, yeah, it's sustained, but if they're minus, I hit you on 3s, which means I miss 3 times, and then I pick up 1, so I only hit you 7 times, and then if I get to strength 12, which with the upgrade you would, you then, you wound 6 times, because you're going to roll a 1, right? And then it's only -2. If you cover, it's -1, so against no Marines, it's a 4-up save. You fail 3. I don't even kill a Marine squad, and it's D3 damage. So D3 damage, I could just roll 2 1s. I could kill 2 TAC Marines with that. And that's kind of like crazy, because that's supposed to be like the top of our shooting. So that's kind of an issue. Flamers are strength 4 now. They made them from strength 5 to strength 4. They changed them from, 3 plus D3 to D6 shots, and they're only -1. So at least those guys ignore cover, but I mean, D6 shots a guy is so random. And even on average, you're only getting 21 flamer shots. 21 flamer shots, but you're wounding most things, I would say, on 4s for toughness 4, but you're not really getting a lot of additional damage there, right? Like 21 hits, 10 wounds, 11 wounds. You have no reroll capacity unless like someone's battle shock, which is impossible because our army doesn't do battle shock. We have 2 units that can cause battle shock. One is at the command phase, at the fight phase. One is in the shooting phase. If I shoot you, hit you, and you fail a battle shock test with a 105-point skull cannon. So that's kind of the issue, right? That's issue number 2, is we don't have good shooting. So everything has to be played at melee level. And I understand that like certain armies just work with melee, like World Eaters, but orcs, but that's not us, because World Eaters have durability units. They have rhinos they can hide inside. They have advance and charge. They have even built-in feel no pain. We have none of that. So the same, defenses that these other armies have that are just melee, like orcs and World Eaters, we just don't have. So that's problem number 2. And then problem number 3 is, even with the points decreases, you just don't get a lot of bang for your buck. So let's talk about that. Like I said, the list starts at 1675 because you're taking Be'lakor. Great. So already you've got one big guy, and I guess we'll talk about the last thing in a second, but there is one more thing that does make us difficult to play. So That's 1675. And then we take, let's just say we do the new combo, which everyone's been talking about, which is the Crusher combo, right? So we get the Crusher combo in. Let's just do 2 for now. 440 points is 2 squads of Crushers, which is a lot. Don't get me wrong. Those guys are great. And then 2 Ren Masters, which is another 300 points. So 740 points gets you that. Add Be'lakor in there, and now you're at 1,075. 1,065, sorry. 1,065. You're already over the halfway mark. What did that give you? 2 Ren Masters, 2 Crushers, and Be'lakor. So, to sum up, I have only melee, no shooting. I have nothing that holds my backfield support. I have no cheap action grabbers, and I'm already halfway in to my army. Okay, fine. So now I want to add Plague Bearers. I take 100. I've got 900 points left. They're good for sticky. They do some good stuff. Great. But I took 2 Ren Masters, and I only have 2 squads with Khorne, so I should probably take something else that does melee. So I can... couple options. I could take another Crusher unit, which is about the same cost as the Demon Prince. You could take the Khorne Demon Prince, which slaps with wings. That guy slaps with Angrax, which is the enhancement upgrade. Especially with those Ren Masters helping him out. And then you could take a Thirster, or you could take some Letters, right? So any of that. So the first 2 options and the third option is over 200 points, right? So we were at 800. Now we're down basically to 500. And again, if we take the first 3 options, we have 10 Plague Bearers that are sticky, and that's it. So now I have 500 points left. Let's just say I did the Demon Prince, right? So 210 points. So I went down from 900 down to 700, right? So I'm down to 7. I need some Nurglings because I need to hold my stuff. So I take 3 units of Nurglings. Great, 3 units of Nurglings. I've got some action guys now, some action monkeys. They can do some stuff. So I'm down to 600 points, a little less than 600. What am I going to do now? Well, I still have 0 shooting in this list, and I have 3 damage dealing units. Like, the Ren Masters aren't terrible, but they're definitely not, like, big bricks, and nothing sturdy in your army. Like, everything I just said has 4+ invols, and that's it, right? So they basically die to a stiff breeze. Eldar just sub a Miracle Dice in. Sisters sub a Miracle Dice in. You get shot by Melta from Chaos Knights, and you lose a Ren Master. Space Marines have Melta as well. You get killed by that. And the list goes on and on and on, right? So what are we going to do these last 500 points? Okay, well, maybe we add some more shooting. Let's just add shooting. Okay, fine. So you could take, at best, if you had the points, you could take like 2 birds. You could take a Lord of Change. You could take Kairos, right? So now I've got a list. Let's look at it. So I've got 3 Greater Demons, which is Be'lakor, Bird, a Demon Prince for melee, 2 Crushers for melee, 2 Ren Masters for, some little 5-man hunting. They'll kill like a tack squad, but they're definitely not killing a Rhino. And then, because, they're strength 6 weapons. It's really not ridiculous. It's strength 5, strength 6 weaponry. It's really not that crazy. Even if they Ren Master themselves, it only goes to 7 and 6. It's really not that ridiculous. They're not popping a Rhino with their powers, right? So, and then we've got a unit of Plague Bearers that makes my home objective sticky, and 3 Nurglings. So really, I've got like 5 light pressure units that don't have any durability because they all have 4-ups. The Demon Prince at least has a 2-up, but like the rest of it is just 4-up guys, right? So the issue is that you run into is that the army has no durability, and once it goes out to do what it's supposed to do, which is like kill a Rhino, you can't kill the guys inside of it because you have no way to get there, and you can't run across the table because you have no durability, and you don't really have a lot of action monkeys, right? Like, I got 3 squads of Nurglings, but like they again die to a very stiff breeze. You breathe on Nurglings the wrong way and they die. They really probably should have kept a 6-up, like a 6-up Feel No Pain and a 6-up Invol. Like, that probably would have been good. I don't know why they thought that they They're like, well, they're toughness 3 now. I'm like, yeah, but yeah. So they die very quickly. Like, to put this into perspective, like to think about this as a game, right? Turn 1, the Nurglings go out. They put a sticky. They do teleport homers in the middle. They die. Turn 2, you do teleport homers in the middle. They die. Turn 3, again, they die. So you've done 3 turns of homers, which is great, unless your opponent's in the middle of the board. In which case, you could try to get in their backfield and do teleport homers, or you could then waste the CP that you have to then Deep Strike in 3 inches to then get your teleport homers in your opponent's backfield. Either way, you get 3 turns out of it. So the last 2 turns, one of the units that I just said, one of those other units has to do something, right? Now, the Plague Bearers going down in points is awesome. I think they're a steal for 110 points, especially with sticky objectives, so it makes our CP economy better. But ultimately, the army just doesn't feel like it has a lot of stuff. And, action economy, how many units can do actions, how many units can go and deal with issues, it's really not that much, right? 2 units of Crushers, 2 Renmasters, 4, 2 Birds, 6, Be'lakor, 7. That's it, right? I mean, we've got Plague Bearers, but they're not really someone who's going to do stuff. Let's just put them on the list. We got 8 units. Other armies have, even the lowest, have like 12. Yeah, we've got 3 squads of Nurglings, but like, they're not killing things. So they're not doing actions other than homers. And again, they have no late game survivability. They just get killed. So that's, that reason. And then finally, the last reason is that list I just said gives up max on Assassinate and very close to max on Bring It Down. So the more greater demons that you get into, the more your opponent can take these things and deal with it. So that one gives up 4, 5, 4, 3. So it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. Like, each one of those guys, even if you did each one of those guys gives up 4, that's 12. And then the Demon Prince, gives up as well. He gives up 2. So that's just a problem, That's 14. Most people will take the soft 14 and the 20 up for Assassinate so they can just focus on killing your units. And like I said before, we don't have the durability. So, like, things die very quickly. And like I said, the more monsters you take, the more points you give up, right? Like, if you took a Blood Thirster instead of the Demon Prince, well, you get 2 more points, right? So now I've got 4 big guys. That's 16 points. And then Assassinate's just a max anyway. So they were already going to get a 20 on Assassinate. Now they get a 16 on Bring It Down. Yeah, I'm going to take Bring It Down. So that's kind of the issues, I think, with why the army failed, is they still have these fundamental problems that make the armies just, this army in particular, just not function. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. If you guys agree, I'd love to hear in the comment section below what you guys have been trying to work around to make the army work. And if you disagree, I'd love to hear, what your thoughts on the army are, why you think this army is actually in a really good spot, or what success you've been having. So hopefully you guys like this, and stay tuned for plenty more. And until next time, guys, for the Dark Gods, I'll see you then.